had down the mouth of the elephant. So yes, they can breathe through your mouth, kind of like what we can. You can breathe through your mouth or your nose intermittently, but obviously lots of it does get done through the nose. I think you can smell a lot better if you use your nose. Now, Saskia, if an elephant's trunk is cut off, the trouble there is, and you know, it's normally like in things like snares, they might get their trunk cut off in snares. I've seen a couple of elephants like that, and it's not very good for them, because they basically lose that little prehensile fingers on the tip of the trunk. So they do adapt, and what they do is they normally grab it and twist their trunk around different things and then pick it up. But it does, their dexterity suffers quite badly, because they don't have those two finger-like little appendages on the end of the trunk. It's not really appendages, but it's a real sort of organ there on the end. And if it's cut off, well, they don't really grow that back. So it's then flat, and it's like an amputated hand, really. So you can learn how to use your arm, you know, to replace your hand, but it will never be the same. And they don't grow it back, no. There, looking from this angle, we can actually see into the ear of the elephant, with the ear flap being sort of behind it. There, look at that. That's a perfect shot of an ear. It's not, the ear hole is not on the inside as it flaps it there, it's on the outside. So the sort of the ear flap assists in pushing the sound into the ear hole. You know, a lot of people I know have often thought that the ear hole is actually on the inside, and that's quite silly, really, because then it would be hiding the ear hole and stopping the noises from coming in there, and actually you want to direct all the sound into it. So there you see, it's quite difficult to see from this angle, but once you get behind an elephant, then you can see it very nicely. There is the ear hole there. Jack, who's a new viewer, thanks very much for your question. We hope that you watch lots more shows. How do we tell between male and female elephants? Okay, well, a very quick sign that we look at like that big female, well, she's not big, but she's an adult female in the background. We'll try and catch up with her now. I want to just show you, they've got very angular skulls, so it's quite indented, and I like to liken it between men and women, humans. Women have a lot more sort of refined facial features. So if I can say, like, your cheekbones come in, okay, so refined facial features, whereas males sort of are a bit more rounded. Hey, we're a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more testosterone. So males a little bit more rounded, females a little bit more fine and angular. And we can see that with the skull. Let me reverse and see if we can just get a nice clear picture on an adult female, and then I can continue on that description. So that is one of the things that we look at. Obviously, we look at the mammary glands on a female are quite enlarged just behind the front legs, because elephants are quite special like that they have mammary glands behind the front legs, not like the antelope and a lot of the other animals having their mammary glands just by the back legs. Females, elephants, behind the front legs. So we're looking at mostly females here, and that one you can see there by the sort of temple area, if I can say that, above the eye, that very angular going in. And whereas a male, it would be almost rounded there going outwards, and not as angled also on the top of the head. It's more rounded. So it does take quite a bit of time to be able to do that straight off the cuff. Once you can see a female from a distance and you see the shape of her head, you can actually notice that. It comes with experience, but that's how we do look, just plainly at the head. And then you would also look then absolutely behind the front legs. Paula, the tusks of elephants don't generally stop growing until the point when they basically die. They are just modified teeth, and they continue growing, and it does show through with like the great tuskers or the big tuskers that we've had in times gone by. I mean, those tusks have grown up to literally being almost 100 kilograms each, which is absolutely huge, and they're pretty much dragging on the ground. And at present, in the world, in Africa, we've probably got the leftovers, genetics-wise, of the elephants that had the smaller tusks, because of the ivory trade. Massive amounts of elephant populations were hunted for the ivory, and the big tuskers were obviously the gold mines of the ivory trade. So they were hunted, pretty much to extinction. And I mean that genetic trait of having massive tusks. So pretty much what we see around, and it's quite present around Kruger and all the natural areas, the national parks. You see a lot, mostly elephants with small tusks. And I think it's most likely because of that genetic trait that has been lost or isolated into small areas. So there's not many of them left. So I hope that that's given you a little bit of insight into elephants and the different questions. Lovely questions. Thank you for that. I'm going to move on shortly. Let's head you on over to the bushwalk, who's got all sorts of elegant things going on there too.
Well, we found a silver cluster leaf, similar to the one we saw earlier. Still very, very wet. There's all sorts of silk in this one, with a whole lot of accumulation of dung inside the plant. There's also some ants. You see the ants here, Vildy? There they are. But the reason why we stopped is that there's actually an infestation on this silver cluster leaf of a particular type of caterpillar that eludes me the name. I was thinking processionary moth, but it's not. And here they are. And they have been devouring the silver cluster leaf. And those of you who have seen me eat one of these leaves before, they are hideously full of tannin, and yet these caterpillars have been munching and munching and munching. The tree has lost an enormous number of its leaves, and we're thinking they're all accumulated in a group like this because it's quite cold. They're trying to keep warm. There are one or two around the plant that are busy feeding. You can see them busy munching away there, enjoying their breakfast of silver cluster leaf. Very high in tannin. Some are able to synthesize that, because tannin is very hard to digest. Maybe that's why they make so much silk. I have absolutely no idea. Cat brag. Yep. Yikes indeed. And if you found these on your ornamental plants at home, you would have a bit of a problem, because they are not going to stop until this entire leaf has been devoured. How marvelous is that? It does give you some creepy crawlies. I always, when I see this sort of thing, it makes my skin twitch. Dr. Rob, nightmare fuel indeed. And I'll just put my finger here so you can see the size of them. See, they're not huge, but it gives you sort of a scale there of the size. And they are really, really enjoying a little bit of a cuddle, a Christmas bed cuddle snuggle this morning. If anybody knows what species this is, please let me know. I'll try and identify it when we get home. Tent worms. It could be tent worms. It's been years since I've seen a tent worm. Been years since I've seen anything like this, actually. I remember back in my day in Sabi Sands in the Singita, we saw an entire marula tree covered in the silk. And I don't remember the caterpillar, though, from those days, but it's got a very similar sort of feel to it. So tentworm might be 100% correct. How marvelous is that? Creepy crawlies indeed. Norman, that's an interesting question. I hadn't thought about that. Do the tannins make them bitter to predators? It's possible. I mean, you are what you eat, so it's possible. But I doubt it would be too much of a problem for wasps. You get lots of wasps out here that will capture a few of these guys and put them in their burrows, sting them, and then lay eggs either on top of them or inside them. And then their parasitoid eggs will hatch and eat the caterpillar alive. So I don't think that would affect a wasp too much, but birds possibly, they might. I don't know, but it's a very good question. It's possibly why they're doing it. Paula, I'm sure there are some poisonous caterpillars out there. I can't name any for you right now. I've never come across one in South Africa, a poisonous caterpillar. Often you get caterpillars with lots of fur on them. And those aren't poisonous, more so they're just very irritable on the skin. So it's not poisonous itself. You could probably wipe the fur off to avoid that. But these don't have any form of that. So maybe they are looking for chemical protection. And they are advertising the black and the yellow, which out in the wilderness can potentially mean aposomatic. But I doubt that they're poisonous. But then I really don't know. I don't know. But marvelous find, nonetheless. We actually passed a marula tree earlier that had a whole lot of these little balls, these little brown dung balls on the floor. And I was looking hard up into the tree to see if I could find any caterpillars. And then didn't find any, but they were probably all accumulated in a ball like this somewhere where I didn't spy them. Marvelous. Grommet, largest caterpillar species. It's hard to say, but in my mind's eye, I'm thinking it's the Mopani worm. They get about this sort of size. There might be bigger ones, but Mopani worms can get to about this sort of size. We don't get any down here that I've ever seen, but definitely further north. No, I'm sure you do get them down here. They do occur on other trees other than Mopanis, but I'm trying to think where I've seen them. Definitely up in the northern part of Kruger is inundated with Mopani worms, and they are quite sporadic throughout the Kruger Park itself, feeding on a wide variety of plants, including marulas and Mopani, and even others that have slipped my mind right now. Onwards we go, Vildi. We're doing a really big loop around to see if we can find in the west if Xidulu has potentially come in. And I think Ralph is possibly still with his elephants, so let's go back over to him.
Yeah, everyone, we've left those elephants now. They're sort of headed down into the finish line. So we were not wanting to push up behind them because they do get quite irritated with vehicles coming up near to them, especially in the breeding herds where there's youngsters around. Mommies can get a bit frustrated if you push up near to them. So we don't want to do that, and we just want them carrying on their lovely morning performance, carrying on doing what they normally do, and just leave them be. So we'll carry on and we'll do the same and look for other things around. And these clouds have now really settled. It's a very grey sort of start to the morning, heading into midday. I think it might be settling that this front now may be moving through a little bit slower than it was initially this morning. So now it seems to have slowed down a bit. Maybe we'll get the tail end of it, and there might be a little bit of a splattering of rain as well. Michael, I haven't heard any news of where the evokers are or where they went. I know that they did head in a northerly direction, and they've still been calling from that side. We hear them intermittently, but you know, it's quite deceptive because in the very early morning you can hear calls that travel many kilometers, especially the air is nice and cool, there's not a breath of wind, and so I've heard the evokers pretty much every single morning since I've been back, and you'd think, oh, they're just here, let's go and look for them, but they're mostly off the property, but we still hear them right at camp. So they're not too far off, But let's hope that maybe some buffalo move into the area or something like that, and then there's a lovely food source for them. But it all waits to be seen what happens there. For the time being, no evokers, but we do know that they're not too far. We're coming into the area now where Xidulu and Hukumuri have been seen quite regularly. I thought I'd just pop around here, have a quick look, see if there's any other animals. We see lots of impala moving around here too, so like I always say, and my mentor taught me, if you want to see predators, go to where the food is, because they're going to be following up soon after. If they're hungry, they're going to be going looking for food, and that's always a good spot to start. And well, here near to Impala Plains, very aptly named, there's very often impala, so there's food around. Both that and Quarantine, two good spots to go to, because there's always food there for predators. And well, if we don't see predators, we always have the impala and the zebra and the wildebeest to look at and watch, and they're always up to something, whether it's strangely feeding on silver cluster leaves, or there's a little sunbird that's flown just in front of me. I need to see him flying around now. There's not too many flowers out at the moment. So, oh, let's get over to James. Something exciting happening.
Hello everybody. There are wild dogs here. The radio is going ballistic. There are far too many trees. They're going along the western edge of this little drainage system here, and we'll see if we can't catch up with them. Fantastic stuff. Different pack from the one that was on Buffelshoek. There was just one that I spotted in between a gap. They're running along here. They could easily cross through or go up on towards Rebecca's Road. See anything there, Senzel? Very exciting stuff. Now, you will just have to excuse me. I might have to get onto the game drive radio every so often. Elvis, best approach from where I was would be to check Rebecca's. There's an impala looking very relaxed. Just keep driving through here. And now there's another wild dog sighting and a leopard sighting going on Buffelshoek, so they have got, the radio is just impossible. Sorry, I missed that for the game drive radio. You're going to have to give that to me again, Luke. Totally relaxed impala in there. Nola, you say they are incredibly fast. It's not so much that they are incredibly fast. I mean, they're not slow, obviously, but they just keep moving. Which means that, you know, you can see them for a second and then they just disappear. I think we're going to have to go round because we won't cross this little river. Certainly not over here. And they can also change direction, of course, Nola. They change direction all the time. Oh gosh, there's lots of stumps and trees and things. Must be very careful about chasing wild dogs that you don't damage a car. Whoa. Just like that, you see. Stick that stump in the wrong place and that's going to be the end of that. Let's get out here onto a road where we can go a little faster. Right, we've got panicked impala now. That thing's seen a wild dog. Almost certainly. They couldn't have crossed in front of us, could they? Did you see how panicked that animal was? I'm sorry, this can be a bit frustrating, everybody. I know it's a little difficult, but it is really hard to figure out what's going on here. I think we must carry on the way we were going and not try and guess what that animal was running away from. Could have been a dog, could have been something else entirely. Very angry Franklins. Let's pop around this side. Now I think they would have reached Rebecca's Road by now. I think we're going to skip that and just drive straight along here. Just try and get an update from Elvis as to where he is. There's Elvis. Elvis, come in. No, he's obviously, they're not on this road. Let's go on to Rebecca's Road, which is this road here. Alright, let's quickly go across to... Ooh, Steve's got something much more exciting.
Road. She's moved off. We think it's Xidulu. Another leopard on foot with a bushwalk team, could it be? Very exciting. She's quite a marvellous cat to have on foot. Impala alarm called as well as soon as Rexon spotted her. Sorry, walking so fast. Keeping our eyes peeled. She just moved off this way. All happens at the same time. While we were live with our caterpillars, Rexon saw the two wild dogs run past. He's called James in. He didn't want to disturb us during that sighting, but he should have done. We probably wouldn't have seen them because they're just... But hopefully we're going to get another look at this female. It's very exciting. It is a crazy thing, folks. Dogs, leopards, on foot. It's all happening. It's all happening. This is 100% live. Coming to you from Djuma in the Sabi Sand, South Africa, where we can produce some phenomenal sightings. Just hoping we're going to get another look at this cat. I didn't even see her. Rexon and VM saw her. Where's she gone, Rex? So there's a car just on the other side here. She is quite a relaxed female on foot, but she's gone into some thick stuff here. Very, very thick. Yeah, no problem. Don't know where she's in here. Ralph is on the radio with Rexon as we speak. He'll probably come and give us a hand. She could just be lying flat. This is probably the time when a game viewer needs to come and see her. She's kind of moved into this sort of area.
You see the leopard lying down there on top of this fallen tree? Right in the middle of the guaris. About 20 meters, 30 meters. She's lying down looking at us. You see? Yeah, don't move. Don't move. You see, on top of this fallen tree, you see the guari that stands? where it's bent, you see where it's bent like this? Straight there. There's a leopard lying down. You see, my friend? Here. Look at me. Here. You see this fallen tree here? Where it's bent a little bit? You go to the next quarry where it's curved like this. It looks like an arm. You see that quarry there? In that bend like an arm. Straight down there.
Yeah, take a step right. Take a step right and go through that owl shape, Vildy. Follow my stick. Got her. Rexon, how did you see that with your naked eye? Folks, we've got her. Do you want to let Ralph know, Rex, that we've got her? Okay, we're going to try and get her for you folks. I'm going to just come in front of Vildy here. Just through. You see that? Can you see through that little arch there, Vildy? Okay, Ralph is going to be here shortly. A little bit further up. Yeah, through that little thing there. Okay, so she's there. Maybe if we go through a few more meters. Okay, she's quite relaxed, Vildy. Come back, go straight through here. Okay, there, hopefully we're going to get her now. She is beautiful. We said we were going to come in today to find her. Wildebeest is very excited. I'm hoping we're able to get her on the camera now for you. There she is. Well done, Wildebeest. Sorry about that, folks. It was very difficult to get her because of the denseness of the bush. She moved. No, she's still there. She is very camouflaged. Rexon has got eagle eyes of note. I can hear Ralph is on his way. So look at that, folks. It's very thick vegetation. Origin, it is very dense. Oh, wow, indeed. Okay, can hear Ralph's vehicle coming at high speed. Where's he going to come around? This way. Okay. So the power lines are just here, eh? So we're very close to our southern boundary. Not southern, western, eh? Western boundary. I'm a bit disorientated this morning. There's no sun. There she's looking towards the vehicle. How amazing is this? Wild dogs, leopard, all at the same time. Very, very exciting. So we believe this is the Xidulu female. Those of you who've got her on the screen can probably confirm that for us. And her relaxed nature is telling me, yes, I'm seeing the spot pattern now with my binoculars. It's 5-5 with that dot on top. I think it's 5-5. Definitely that dot on top, which is apparently part of the family lineage. Wildebeest is managing to keep very steady shots. Exactly, Rexon. Very amazing spotting. Everyone's agreeing. Took us some moments to find her. Took Wildebeest even longer to try and see her with the camera. James, Richard and Ali, I take your feedback very, very well. Indeed, they agree. It is Xidulu. I only assumed it because of the area we're in. Okay, so, there she's grooming. Here we go. Now that is a relaxed cat. If she was not happy with us on foot, she would not be just grooming and sitting like that. She would be low, flat in the grass, and probably moving off. But she is very relaxed. We are about to be joined by Mr. Ralph Kirsten and Sebastian Rombi, and they have got David, who is the guy who's come from Kenya. Oh, this is James, indeed. This is James. Sorry, so James has got David, and might be David's first South African leopard. David from Kenya. It's just coming in behind us here. We're going to stay with her, though, as long as we can. She's on the other side of that thicket, James. This might work here. Okay, we're just going to guide James in. We're going to stay with her until he finds her, and you're going to then get some beautiful shots of this cat. She is gorgeous. And folks, this, for me, after Leopards on Foot, has just made my month. I don't know what to say. Tlalamba last night with Tandi. Now Xidulu on Foot after an early start with elephants. Djuma, Sabi Sands, you absolute beauty. Okay, so James is heading straight in there now. You should get a visual soon. We tell him just to veer a little bit right. Do you want to tell him, Rex? Rex might tell him just to veer a little bit right from where he is. I think he's going to get her in a moment. Luke, if you just let me know as soon as he confirms seeing her, and then we'll move out. Okay, well she's just reacted to them, but I think that's because of a branch. Right there now. He should be able to see her on his right, in the thicket. Well, it seems like James has managed to get her. So folks, what a fantastic morning. Let's go over to James.
Chiefers, we've got very lucky suddenly. There is Xidulu, a massively impressive effort by Rexon and by Steve. They're now going to back out of the area. She's watching them. She can see them. They've kept their distance and waited until we got into this area. I'm afraid when I heard that she was here, I knew that we wouldn't get a great view on foot, so I've handed the dogs over to Ralph. He's trying to find them. And I thought we'd just come in here and have a look at this leopardess, because I've spent very little time with her. She's just watching as they move off. What a brilliant morning they've had. Elephants and leopards on foot. I'm astounded by the number of leopard we've found on foot, in fact, over the last 3 weeks or so. It really has been quite unusually skilled by both Rexon and Herbert. Ah, fantastic. Now, unfortunately, Julie, my map was stolen out of the car by Stephen yesterday, so I can't tell you where. I can't show you on the map where she is, but I'll describe it to you. And you can actually find these spots on the Google Earth map of Djuma. She is basically on the western boundary, right on the western boundary, about half the way down to the south, between the north and south. And she's in some thickets there. I'll attempt to get that map back today. I was really getting that sort of mid-morning feel to it now. I'm sure she's going to calm down and settle here for a while. Phew. And now a question from Tony Two Toes about what I think of her face. Well, Tony, I quite like her face. I think she looks good. She's a good-looking girl, this one. She's got a longish nose, not that puggish nose that I was talking about earlier. So I think she's a good-looking girl, and I got no problem with her. I actually do think she's a extremely good-looking leopard, this. There is a length to her nose that doesn't exist on the lineage of the late Queen. This is all, of course, purely personal opinion and personal choice. It's not there's nothing absolute about leopard beauty, see. Well, all leopards are beautiful, all creatures are beautiful. Well, there's something about this cat that is very attractive, very almost Siamese, like a Siamese domestic cat almost. Now, Xidulu is recent to this area, and what's unusual about her is that she comes from, she's not in or next to her natal territory. And Granny Pig, she's about 4, we think, about 4 years old, maybe a little bit younger than that. She used to be known as the Ingrid Dam female. We know exactly how old she is. I've just forgotten a little bit. I think she's 4. Oh, that's nice. That's a little scratch on the branch. And she comes from, like I say, not from here, from the northern parts of Londolozi and Singita on their sort of western and eastern boundaries, common boundaries. Oh, sorry, I've just got to get on the radio quickly. Yours, we've just got into the area now. Animal is mobile south, parallel with Impala Road towards Impala Plains. Now she's just picking up her tail there to show the surrender signal to any birds that might start shouting at her. I don't know where Rexon and the others are. I think they've moved out, which is probably why she's feeling comfortable to move. Remember, leopards don't like to spend too much time with us on foot. They feel threatened by us. Let's keep going. Right, let's go across to the things, or certainly, let's go. I can smell the dogs came through here. Let's go across to Ralph and find out if he's had any luck. Goodness gracious.
I haven't had any luck just yet, everybody, but you know how it is with dogs. It is really crazy because they're not as easy to follow as lions and leopard. They don't generally run on the road. They just go everywhere. So the most random type of thing that you've ever done is maybe comparable to following wild dogs, because there is no system to it. There's no trying to work out, okay, well, maybe they're going down for a drink, let's head around and go in front of them. There's nothing like that. There's absolutely nothing that you can work out with wild dogs. It's just and it's got to spread out and try and look everywhere, and there's no system to it. It's just where were they last seen, which direction were they headed, but they could run in that direction for 100 meters, turn left, turn right, and come back to where they've come from. They could lie down, they could stand up and run again. It's just, yeah, dogs are very, very random, and that's possibly why they're so successful. There's no judging what they're going to do next and which way they're going to go. And, well, we haven't seen them now. I haven't seen them, but we're just working the area where James last saw them and which direction he was going, but that doesn't mean that they haven't spun around exactly like I've said and gone totally back into a different direction where we're not even looking. So while I try and find these elusive animals, let's head you on back to James, who at least has a cat.
Now, I feel a little bit bad about leaving poor old Ralph on his own there, especially as we actually had a quick view, but we had to come and try and spend some time with this cat. There she is. Let's just see if we can't get in front of her for Sensor. I say for Sensor, I mean of course for my benefit too, as well as yours. You see her there? She's moving still. I think she's going to cross to the west, I'm afraid. Stay with us. David's eyes are popping out behind me because he's never seen so many trees in his life. Here she comes. You see her there? You see her? Is she moving? Is she coming this way? Okay, here we go. Oh, there she is. Kyle, you say nice bundu bashing. Yes, I suppose it is quite nice. It's not my, I must confess, it's not my favourite thing to do. But it does get results. Let's move. So we're right on the western boundary, as I said. And if she goes across it, of course, then we won't be able to follow her. She's going to head up onto this termite mound, I think. Shall we take a gamble? Let's gamble that she's going to go onto the termite mound. Hold on tight, everybody. Can you see her? Where is she moving? She's standing. Okay. Yeah, let's go through here. I just won't get a front-on view of her. Here she comes, straight towards this termite mound. So we can get the car around. Oh, she is. Hello, my dear. She's got a kind of, I'm going to get pilloried for saying this, but she looks like, to me, like the Lisbeth Salander of leopards. She's got that kind of skinny, longish face. She looks like if she could have a tattoo, she'd have many, possibly even of a dragon. She's a large female, this. She's not a little one. She's spotted something now. What's she seen? What? Let me just go forward. I think she's seen something in there. Maybe a scrub hare. Let's keep very still and quiet. She's stalking. I can hear something moving just through there. I can hear something moving. I don't know what it is. Let's try an action broadcast. I'm not sure if she's going to actually go for something. Just putting her tail up because there's a bird now alarm calling. It's a white-browed scrub robin. I can hear something eating in there. morning and welcome to our viewers who've just joined us. We're coming to you live from the Greater Kruger National Park. That is a beautiful leopardess there. Please ask us any questions you'd like to. She's on the hunt. Oh, I can see it now. There's some nyala through there. She spotted some nyala. I'm not going to move the vehicle. There they are. May even be a kudu, actually. It's a kudu. Much too big for her. I thought maybe there was a scrub hare or something in front of her where she just started to stalk. Let's just keep watching her. This is the Xidulu female, she's called. Just set up residence in this part of the Western Kruger on a place called Djuma. Now, it doesn't seem to matter how outsized the leopard is. If she thinks she can grab something unaware, and if there's a small kudu in there, she could easily grab it, and I can see a kudu calf. That you can hear is the sound of a white-browed scrub robin, because they've seen the leopard, but the kudu have not. There, you can hear it now. The kudu are moving off now, possibly registering the sound of the scrub robin. Good to have you with us, John, all the way from Alaska. I imagine that it's warming up there now, which must be something of a relief after your long winter. Let's just see what she does here. I'm not sure if she's going to get up and continue the pursuit. I think she's most likely going to remain where she is. Simply because those kudu, I think, are too big for her. Isn't that a magical picture of her in amongst this feathered chlorous grass, is what we call it? And we've got also Durai all the way from Chennai. How fantastic to have two people on different parts of the planet, almost opposite ends. Southeast India and northwestern United States. Well, Jacqueline, yeah, as I was saying, the kudu are probably too big for her unless there's a small calf. And there might be a small calf in there that she's just eyeing. You can see everything's gone very quiet. It's almost as if the wilderness around her feels the presence of this magnificent predator. Can't see the kudu anymore. I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move around this termite mound. So we'll go backwards. My name is James, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Senzor is on camera. What I don't want to do is chase her or any potential prey she might have. Now, Vasha, you've just joined us and wondering where on earth we are. We are in the Greater Kruger National Park of South Africa, on the western fringes, in a little piece of land called Djuma. And you see her there. You got her? Oh, there she is. Let me just go a little bit further forward. There you go. That's wonderful. Look how perfectly hidden she is. Now I'm afraid the kudu have disappeared now. Oh, she's just having a bit of a rest, trying to decide what to do. Alright, for those of you who have just joined us, we are going to end this unscheduled part of the broadcast. If you want to keep watching, please feel free to go along to YouTube or just Google Safari Live and you will find a platform that you can watch the rest of the sighting And there are other 2 broadcasts that we do every single day. Thanks for joining us. Alright everybody, that was, well, I suppose something of a damp squib. Anyway, we're still here with our beautiful leopardess. And things are warming up. I was becoming quite frustrated with the morning, I must confess. Anyway, I'm very pleased that now we have got a leopard. We spent all of Sunday afternoon trying to find her. I'm going to sit watching her in amongst the feathered clawers here. Let's go back to Steve and get more impressions of what it was like to see her on foot.
How incredible indeed. How incredible. But the morning is not over. The male giraffe, he feels like he needs a cameo in the morning as well. But what a day it has been. The heart just, you can never get over that feeling of finding a leopard on foot. And how this man saw her at the end there. I mean, it took VM and myself the longest time to find her with our own eyes and then to get the camera on her. Thank you for staying part of us with that. And marvelous that James was able to get in there. And unfortunately she wasn't able to catch a kudu, but that is the way it works. Remember, this is all 100% live, and we are extremely excited. The hearts are racing, and I think it's time we're going to go home and have a coffee, because I think we've earned it. Hey, Rex, we've earned a coffee, Wildy? Yeah, indeed, we have. So we're going to say goodbye from our side with our male giraffe, and I'm sure Luke is going to take you back to someone with something a little bit more exciting. Well, let's go to Ralph then and see if he's managed to find the wild dogs.
Not yet, not yet. We're making the circle bigger, and we still are looking for these madash, as they call them locally, wild dogs, and they are very wild indeed. They don't stop. They run all over the place, then they might just lie down and jump up again, run off. And so we've just got to keep moving and keep trying to find any little sign. I haven't seen any tracks of them or anything like that. So we've circled around the area where they were last seen. We've now made the circle bigger. Now I want to go into the area that I haven't been at all, and that possibly be exactly where they've gone. Sometimes it's the place where you least expect it, or expect them that they've actually gone. But it's the luck of the draw. Whether we find them or not, sometimes it's just about the thrill of them being in the area that is very exciting. And you just got to try, because it is fascinating to watch wild dogs. And generally, if you're on wild dogs and you're following them and they start to hunt, well, you've got a 99% chance of watching them actually kill something, if you can keep up with them through the thickets. So that's why we get so excited when there are wild dogs around, because hang with them and you're going to see lots of action. Okay, while I continue the chase and the hunt, we'll see if we can find these dogs. Let's head you back to James with Xidulu.
As I said, very frustrating for poor Ralph, and I feel a bit bad. Anyway, we're having a good time with this leopard. Somebody had to come to the leopard, and it just happened to be us. There she is. She's stalking those kudu again. They're quite far away, and they are, in fact, across the boundary. It's a leopard, Sheldon. I'm just telling Sheldon from Chitwa that we have a leopard here. He's very good to us when we go across to Chitwa. Always. I don't think she's going to catch one, but she might. Sharon, the other day I also had an experience on foot with a leopard, that brought me the closest I've ever been to a leopard. And that was with Hosanna, and I couldn't have been more than 2 feet from him when he shot out of the grass on a termite mound in front of me. No more than 2 feet. I'd love to try and get you a better picture of her, everybody, but I don't know how to do it without disturbing her and getting in front of a whole lot of other guest vehicles, I'm afraid. We can try and go around the back of her, maybe. Let's just quickly move. We don't have a huge amount of time left. Oh, watch out behind, chaps. Let me just see. Here's a little gap we can go through. Yep. You'll all be pleased to know that Sensor has not only dispensed with... No, he's still got his blanket on, but he's unzipped his jacket. There, she's moving again. And his gloves are almost off. She's just moving down through here. Need to be very careful not to disturb her because she is difficult to see. There she is. Yeah, we are behind the 8 ball here, I'm afraid. She's still stalking. And now there's an impala there. There's an impala ram there. Just across the road. Now that's much more her size. Good size female, this. And an impala ram this time of the year is excellent quarry because, of course, they're only thinking about sex at the moment. They're not thinking about eating or defending themselves. He is looking this way, and for her to get across this road unseen would be very difficult. Yeah, he's just behind that tree for you guys. I think he's looking this way though because of the vehicle activity far more than because he's seen her. Because he will alarm call as soon as he gets wind of her. But he's looking straight down towards her. Now he's turned his head slightly. She hasn't moved. But you can see how she just lifts her head up. That's as he turns his back. Look at the muscles in the shoulder blades just moving. Now the impala's head's down. Back up again. And that kudu now moving. I can hear them scraping through the bushes the other side. And now it's a typical cat patience game. Impala seems to have moved off slightly actually. She's obviously not that seriously hunting. Now we can stay here for a little while. There's no reason we shouldn't stay with her until she crosses. So let's extend the drive slightly. Just see what happens, because once she crosses the road in front of us, that's going to be it. She's still after those kudu. There, they've seen her. Do you hear that? Just been a little bit injudicious in her approach here, I'm afraid. So the game is up, I'm afraid. Now she's having herself a little bit of a shameful clean, or shamed clean. Let's move slightly. Get you a last view of her before the end of the show. How's that, Sinzel? It's alright? Just get my head out of the way. Alright everybody, that's going to be it from us today. Marvellous drive in the end. Got some good stuff and some great excitement. We will see you again this afternoon, of course, at 3:30, same as yesterday. Until then, I hope you have a marvellous day or night.